how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and a special welcome to all my business admin majors out there, any derivative of that, because in this video, I'm gonna go over 10 of the top, most likely highest paying jobs that you guys can go out and get. There are millions of jobs for business majors out there, but on average, these are pretty high paying. I'm gonna go over what these 10 are. I am gonna go from the lowest paying to the highest paying. Number one will be the highest paying, but don't skip there. It's important to watch them all. You gotta earn that number one, but also maybe along the way you'll find something that really piques your interest and something that you're interested in. Now there's so many jobs that you guys can get. These are just a small snippet and I'm excited to jump into them. So let's jump into what number 10 is of the highest paying or top jobs for business majors. And if you're new here, my name's Calvin Rabb. I make videos all about personal finance, so if you're interested in that at all, I would love it if you would subscribe. And then one more thing, at the very end, after these 10, I'm gonna go over 2 bonus jobs that you can get. One of them pays a whole lot of money, but needs a little bit more education, and another one, just the sky's the limit. You can make an insane amount of money. So those 2 bonuses will be at the end after I go over number 1, so be sure to stick around for those. Number 10, remember we're going from 10 to 1. So number 10 is an accountant. And the average salary of an accountant is going to be about $69,350. Now, what an accountant does is essentially what they do is just make sure that the finances of a company run smoothly. They take all the transactions and they make sure that they're recorded correctly, and they just really put them all together to make meaningful and helpful documents for managers and CEOs and especially auditors and different things like that. So it's all about making sure a company's finances run smoothly and are recorded properly. Number 9 is a training and development manager, which is going to make about $75,192. And essentially what this does is this person will go into a company or work for a company and they'll see what training they see the employees need. So maybe they're lacking in this particular area and they need this particular training, or they would like the employees to know this to be able to propel the business into this certain field and just grow bigger and bigger. This is obviously very desirable for business owners that want their company to grow. So this is a rather in-demand field. Number 8 is an operations research analyst, which is going to make about $81,390 on average. And what this does is they look at the daily operations of a certain business and they run mathematical equations and different formulas and analysis to see how those operations are doing, how their kind of return on investment, see how the company's doing, see if there's any way you can streamline different processes. It's all about helping the company run smoothly as possible through mathematical formulas that say this is what we should cut out, this is what we should add, and you can start to see how this is needed at a lot of big companies just to make sure they're running efficiently and smoothly and getting as much done as they possibly can. Number 7 is a management analyst, which is going to make about $82,450 on average. And what this does is it's very similar to that operations research analyst, except now it's more specific to management. So rather than looking at all the operations and seeing how they should streamline the company, it's all about helping management make decisions. Now, some of those decisions might be about basic operations of the business, but there will be other decisions that business owners have to make as well. And these analytics people will go through and try to figure out how they should go about solving this particular problem. So essentially you are the problem solver for management, and that's what you will do with this job. It's a quite fascinating job. A lot of actually economics majors go forth in these positions, but they are also open for business majors as well. So it's a really interesting field and you really get to learn about how business works. And man, that light is bright. I just see it in the camera just shining on me. Oh, a little warm in here. I feel like I'm glowing a little bit, but all right, let's move on. All right, number 6 is a financial analyst, and this is another one of those analytics positions. And what this will do is you'll usually be working for a company or sometimes a person, and you just run financial analysis. So this would be looking at stocks, looking at bonds, and running different analytics on them, and just seeing what you think the company should do. You would look at the goals of the company, the return they want, and you'll go about seeing how you should do that. This is definitely for someone that's really into into the stock market, really into oftentimes mathematics and different things like that, and you can learn a lot doing it. And I find this field really, really fascinating as far as it comes to financial analysis and anything like that. So be sure to look into being a financial analyst. You can learn a whole lot. They are obviously in demand because companies don't want their money just sitting in a bank account. They want to give it to you, and they want you to go and get them a return. Number 5, we are halfway through, and this one is a close sibling to that financial analyst, and that is a financial advisor. Now, a financial advisor is going to make about $90,640 on average as far as the salary goes, and what an advisor does is just what it sounds like. It advises someone on their finances. So it's a little different from the financial analyst position in that you're no longer really working for just a giant company with the sole focus being on return on investment. As far as an advisor, you oftentimes have a lot of one-on-one time with a client of yours, and you'll be helping them get out of sticky situations. I hope to go down this kind of financial advisory path. I find it really rewarding. You guys know I love finance, and it's always nice to help people out, so it just seems like a good end for me, and I hope to get there one day. Number 4, and this one is one I'm actually really interested in. I'll talk a little bit about it, but I'm really excited about this one, and I really think it's a great position for business majors, econ majors, and everything else like that. And that is a healthcare administrator, and they are going to make about $98,350 average salary. Now, what does this do? Well, it's a very broad term, and they do a whole bunch, but what they do is they'll be an administrator, kind of a management position at a hospital, and they make sure the ongoings of the hospital are just running smoothly, but it does have that kind of financial side to it where you'll be looking at a lot of financial stuff and just making sure hospitals are running smoothly and efficiently. You are coming in with more of a business mind, where a lot of other people there will be more healthcare minded, hence you are working in a hospital. But the hospitals are businesses, so they do need business people to go in and just make sure everything is running how it should be. There's a lot of money, a lot of transactions that go on in healthcare, and I find it really fascinating. One of the reasons is I actually have an internship in a healthcare related field. It's more of a healthcare marketplace than it is a hospital specifically, but it has really got me into that healthcare industry, and I find the finances of healthcare very fascinating. Very complex, but I just find it really interesting how everything kind of ebbs and flows and works together. We're also in a field that is always going to be in demand. Healthcare is always going to be there. For the rest of time, people are probably going to keep getting sick unless somehow we turn into robots. So that took a turn. But it's a very in-demand field, and it's just a really great high-paying job to have. Number 3 is an actuary, and we have finally broken the $100,000 salary average, and an actuary on average is going to be about $101,560. Now, I do have to mention with this job, and also a couple others I mentioned, you will need to get specific courses and certifications and extra schooling and tests and different things like that, but it is open to business admin majors, and oftentimes just a few other tests and different things like that you'll need. It certainly goes with financial advisory, so I just need to add that in there. Oftentimes, maybe right after you graduate, you can't go right into these jobs, but they could be in your not too distant future. So let's jump into what an actuary is. Essentially what they are is they run mathematical analysis on the probability of certain events happening. So who would want to know this? Well, one person that would want to know it would be an insurance agency. They want to know what is the probability of this certain thing happening that we would have to cover. So maybe how often does a house go on fire? And because of that number, because of that percentage, what should our rates be? And an actuary goes and tries to figure all that out. So it is a lot of statistics, a lot of mathematics, oftentimes probably a lot of calculus and different things like that. So it is very much so a mathematical position, but it is of course business minded because you are working for a company and you're just making decisions based on what you find. So it's a very fascinating position, and as you can see from the salary, it does pay quite well. Number 2 is a purchasing manager, and a purchasing manager on average is going to make about $118,940 $30 a year. Now, what a purchasing manager does is just what it sounds like. They make purchases for a company. Now, they don't just get the company car and just run around willy-nilly just buying anything they want. No, they make very calculated decisions about what should be bought, what is going to be the best return on investment for the company. This isn't necessarily stocks and bonds, but this is just different operations and different things that companies may want to buy. That is it worth it? Is this expensive thing we want to buy going to give us a good enough return that it's worth it? So a purchasing manager is going to go over all the different purchases the company wants to make, and they will approve them, and they'll kind of figure out what they should get and how they should go about that. Number one, well, before the two bonuses at the end, but number one is a financial manager. And a financial manager average salary is going to be about $125,080. And what a financial manager does is quite broad. They do a whole lot because they are managing finances for a particular company. So you're going to look over the investments that the company's making, the expenditures that they're going to be making. You're going to be working with a lot of different people. So you're going to be looking at what the analysis team and what the analytics are that they're producing. You're going to look at and manage a lot of the accountants to make sure everything is running smoothly there, seeing if there's any kinks or anything that you need to work out in that field. You'll even look at the purchasing manager, as we talked about, just to see if the company's making correct purchases. You'll make financial decisions. You'll be oftentimes very close with management. They'll want to sit down with you and really figure out where the company is financially. So oftentimes this isn't a job that someone jumps into right away. Unless you do have experience with it, then yes, you can. But oftentimes this is a job that a lot of business admin majors will work up to. So you started a company in one of the other finance positions, and slowly you kind of work your way up until you are the financial manager. So it is a great job. It is kind of the creme de la creme of kind of business jobs out there, and I think it is great for a lot of business people that are into finances, and it's just a really good job to have. It's very rewarding. You, of course, have to be a leader, and you're kind of like a mini CEO in a way. So great job to have, and as of course, it does pay a lot. But that does conclude those top 10. I do want to jump into those two bonuses though that I promised at the end. So if you've made it this far, thank you, congratulations. You are now going to kind of reap the rewards of it by these two bonuses. Now the first bonus I didn't want to add in that kind of 10 because it does require quite a bit of extra education. I know I did say some of the other ones also needed different certificates and maybe a little bit more education, but this one is a little more drastic in that it did, for most of the jobs, need a graduate degree and different things like that. And that is in investment banking. And this salary varies drastically. Now what I saw as far as average salaries go, you can make from around $100,000 to $500,000. And really with investment banking, the sky's the limit. If you look at some of the wealthiest people in the world, the wealthiest people on Wall Street and in investment banking, they are billionaires making tons and tons of money. So there's so much you can do here. So what do they do? Well, it is, of course, as I'm saying for a lot of these, it is quite broad. But what you are going to be doing is just looking over different investments and seeing what the best course of action is going to be. You oftentimes will work for a big company, or who knows, you'll be a higher up in a certain company, and you're going to be analyzing what the different investments should be and how they should go about just making investment decisions, whether it be stocks, bonds, or any other investments. Could even be just real estate and anything like that. So these oftentimes are jobs that people will work up to. As I mentioned before, they have a lot of education behind them, and it's all about just getting the highest return on investment possible. It is also a very, very stressful job, but if you're into this kind of thing, you're passionate about it, then you will probably enjoy it a little bit more than someone that is just chasing it just because of the salary. Oftentimes when you chase a job just solely because of the salary, in the end, it's not really going to work out for you. But there is extra education needed. I did see a lot of people that go after these jobs do have MBAs and different graduate degrees like that. So I would look into, maybe specifically look at jobs and see what education requirements they recommend. Number two, and given the nature of this channel, you probably guessed this one, and that is start your own business. The cool thing is, as a business admin major or business major, oftentimes your classes are very diverse within the business field. So you take a lot of 101 courses around different subjects revolving business. And then when you graduate, you have a great understanding, kind of this jack of all trades understanding of how a business works. Now, when you go to start your company, that's extremely useful because you can now take all that and leverage it and know how each little facet of the business kind of works. Now, as far as salary here, man, the sky's the limit. Look at the highest paid people in the world, look at the richest people in the world, and many of them started their own business. And there's, of course, good money you can make if you get bought out and different things like that. It's also very, very rewarding, and entrepreneurship at its whole is about solving problems and helping people, so it is, of course, very, very rewarding. All right, so that will wrap it up. Those are kind of the 10 highest paying jobs that I saw on average for business admin majors. Of course, those are not the only ones. So I do kind of want to turn the question to you guys. What are other jobs that business admins can get? What are other top jobs that business administration majors can get that are also kind of high paying? So I'd highly recommend, or I'd love to see you in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond to you guys and just have a good conversation. But that will round out this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hello to all my new subscribers. It's great to see you there. I've really enjoyed making these videos, and this summer I'm really hoping to get out a whole lot more videos and just pump out a lot of great information for you guys. So if you're new here, I would love it if you would subscribe. I make videos all about personal finance, so if you're interested in that all, I would love it if you subscribe. Right now I'm making videos every single Monday and Friday. You'll be able to see them here on this channel. I usually post them around noon, so be sure to check out for those and just subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope summer's going well for you guys. So thank you guys so much. As always, my name is Calvin Rabb, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.